All right, so first thing we're gonna do is open up our projects panel, double click here, and we're gonna locate the footage that we previously downloaded from the assignment. That's in our OneDrive. There's the folder we made for today, and we're gonna shift select, make sure create composition is unchecked. All right, cool. And we're going to rename these. This one's going to be called Face. And this one's going to be called Fire. Fire. And then we'll create a new composition. Just looking at something there. And we'll call this Displacement Map. Make sure we start with the default and then lock the width and height. And we're going to go 1280 by 720. Or 720 should be automatically set there. Make sure we have 10 seconds of length. All right. And then let's go ahead and save our work. Now, first thing we're going to do is add some text. So we need to get access to the characters panel or character panel. I have to reset my panels here. I'm on a different computer. There it is, character. And we're going to set the typeface to impact. And the size to 350. And make sure your fill color is white. And there's no stroke. All right, and then in the lower left-hand side, we're going to click in and type our usual big text. And then select the selection tool, click away, choose the layer, and then we're going to align this vertically and horizontally. Awesome. Next up, let's go ahead and drag the fire layer down below the big text layer. And we're going to open up our effects and we're going to search for Displacement Map. And once we see it, we'll click and drag it onto the fire layer. Now, nothing will change terribly. We do have to choose big text as the source of the displacement, and then we have to set the actual displacement to those values there. When we hide the big text layer, we can see that the footage that's coming through the layer, the text layer, has been displaced. It's been offset based on the value of that text, the color value, which is all white. So it's going to have maximum displacement. Just adjust that a little bit. Awesome. All right, now we're going to make a new or a copy of this by hitting Command D or going up to the Edit menu and choosing Duplicate. So we're not dragging anything down into the timeline. We don't want to nest these compositions. We're just creating a copy of the original one. It automatically adds a 2 onto it, which is awesome. And if you double click on that composition, it will open up. And you can see we've got 2 comps open down there in the panel. So we're going to turn on big text again. And this time we're going to add a stroke around the outside edge there, just shy of all the way white, so slightly gray. We're going to set the stroke weight to 10 pixels. There you can see it there. Now when we see that displacement, we can see that there's a difference between the fill and the stroke of that text. Okay, so now we're going to make this a little cooler. We're going to add a drop shadow. The drop shadow is going to allow additional displacement interactivity around the edges of this text here, specifically the bottom right. So click that drop shadow and add it to the actual text itself. And you can see a little tiny drop shadow shows up. We're going to go into alpha mode here so we can see. I'm going to increase the drop shadow value, which changes the offset of that shadow, and then kind of blur it a little bit. And then when I hide the layer, nothing changes. And the reason for that is that we have to tell the displacement mask or the displacement to also include the effects. And there it is. It looks like the bottom of that text is on fire. All right, very cool. Just trying a few little check boxes and see if it changes anything, makes it better. The top right of that T, for some reason, something funky's going on there. We might have too much displacement. Anyway, the fire looks like it's going in front of and behind the text, which is cool. All right, let's make another copy of our comp 2. It automatically names it comp 3. We double click it to open up. And I'm going to get rid of the text layer. And I'm going to bring in the face on top of the fire. And I'm going to set the face layer to the displacement source. And then when I play that, you can see the face shows up in the fire. Very cool. I'm trying to fix some edges here. The right and the bottom are pulling in. We might have our displacement set too high, but I think it works here. Okay, so now we're going to get rid of the background on this. So we're going to look for key light and drag that onto the face layer. And then we have to choose the eyedropper tool, and we'll choose this background as the source. Sorry, the window popped up and interfered. Let's click on the green there, and now that green background disappears. It's almost like it's doing a mask. Technically it is. So clicking on the FX allows you to hide any effects that are applied there. You can individually hide the FX, or you can do it from the timeline as well. All right, next we're going to add another drop shadow. Again, like we did with the text, we're going to add it to the face. And we're going to hide the background so we can see what this looks like. Now in class, we didn't mess with the angle of the drop shadow, but I think I want to try changing the direction to go straight down. That way we get a drop shadow on both sides of the face. Cool. And then hide this layer. Oh, we have to make sure it's set for effects. Hide the layer, Jason. There we go. All right, now we can see The neck is most definitely prominent now with that drop shadow enabled. But we might just want to see only the face. And so if we just do without the effects, the shoulders aren't as prominent like I just showed there, but they we don't have as much prominence in the face as well. So we're going to try fixing that here in a sec. All right, now we did not do this in class, but I'm going to use a mask in addition to everything else. I'm going to zoom out here. So I'm going to select the face layer, and I'm going to draw a mask that's going to define outside of her face because her head does move a little bit, and then I'm going to cut through the neck and then go outside again up to the top there, and then close that path to complete the mask. Try and keep the corners to curves. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and keep the... Hold on, I'm figuring out. Oh, so we want to go to the mask properties, and we're going to feather that mask edge. I'm going to turn the chroma key back on, so really all that's getting feathered is her neck. And so now when we play this, we still have the advantage of the drop shadow to give us a nice edge prominence, but the neck kind of just fades into the fire. Gives us a pretty nice effect. And that's it.